Welcome to my humble abode here in my parents' basement. I feel like I got to put a video out before I send everybody money. There's just something about it. I feel like if I just sent the money and didn't put a little bow tie on it, then it wouldn't feel right. So didn't have too much time to put anything real extravagant together, kind of like that amazing video that was presented at the draft. I don't know if you guys recall, but I thought, we just would throw the robe on and, Patriots cap. And I thought about singing. I tried once. Wasn't coming together. So I'm just going to put a little bow tie on it, a little synopsis of the season. I got everybody's name written down here. I'll hit on all of you. So wait for your part. I know everybody wants to hear their part. Like, oh, what are you going to say about me? So here we go. 10th place, Andrew. Bless your soul, the commissioner is going to get absolutely smothered in condiments. This poor guy. Couldn't happen to a better guy, Andrew, I think this is going to be bad. and I'm sorry that it has to happen. I'm kind of excited for it, but I feel bad at the same time. I feel like pouring condiments on Andrew while his very lanky body is crammed into a metal dog cage is going to bring joy to a lot of people in this league. So, prayers, just prayers for Andrew. 9th place, we have myself. My team was terrible. I hated this team. I didn't break 129 points until I was in the dead last toilet bowl. They somehow showed up the very last week, but this team was just not good. It just had a bunch of dogs that just couldn't get it together. So enough about me. Moving on. Danny. I feel like he was really close to putting it together for a minute there. He had a couple players disappoint him, Antonio Gibson, but he made a stand on Joe Mixon, and Joe Mixon just took off, and he just kept throwing up points, and Danny was riding him. He traded for Alvin Kamara. It's like, what a running back duo that is. I can't really remember any of his receivers. Maybe that was the downfall, but I ended up somehow slipping out of the playoffs. I feel like everybody's rooting for Dan at this point because they want somebody that hasn't won. And they're like, I don't know if I want to root for Dylan. And they're like, oh, Max, I'm not rooting for him either. So everybody just naturally roots for Danny, which I know Danny and Max have the rivalry, so I don't want to stoke that too much. But, good year, Dan. Good call on Mixon, but I guess just wasn't enough. 7th place, we have Matt. This guy is the Houdini. It's Matt Houdini Tatu. He has 2 wins on the year. Somehow finishes in 7th place. He didn't have a single running back. He cycled through the waiver ones because he was first waiver priority. And he did have Devontae Adams, but 2 wins, and then he somehow weaseled his way into 7th place. I think it was sheer will, because I think if he was the one being smothered in these condiments, I think he might, snap. I don't know what would happen, but I hope we get to find out one day, Maddie. I hope we get to see what happens. 6th place, we have Rich. Another weasel. He just snuck his way into the playoffs. He was dead to rights. There's no chance this guy's getting in. He had a pretty good team despite CMC getting hurt. I feel like he had CMC also get hurt last year and he somehow was still good. He's just the magic man, I guess. Mike Evans, Deontay Johnson, he had a great year. James Conner, that's what it was. Are you kidding me? James Conner, he was just a horse. So snuck into playoffs, ended up getting bumped out real early, but I feel like you got to be happy about it. I feel like my camera's getting a little messed up here, but we're just going to roll. Dylan, 5th place. I feel like, the biggest pro of his team, he had the best offense in football, the Packers. Maybe not the best offense, but the best team, and he had Tyreek, so Tyreek, Aaron Jones, Aaron Rodgers. That's just a solid squad. It never felt like it was a super team, It felt like maybe if a couple of things broke the right way, could be handing up his first trophy, but it wasn't the year. It just wasn't the year quite yet. Max, this guy, I feel like he had it going all for him, and then he just started to love his team a little too much, which might sound contradictory because he traded everybody, but he just, I think, was a little bit too confident. And the fantasy gods are like, So 4th place, still a very good year for Max after some of his finishes. And I mean, I'm rooting for him. I honestly am. He got a lot of scrutiny from Danny all year about Mike Williams, and Dan's just been a thorn in his side. I think what might have happened is Danny just like dragged him down with him. So see if Max can shake Dan next year. I look forward to seeing where that rivalry continues to. 3rd place, we have our first medalist, Jack Athanas. He's going to bring home $50. I feel weird saying this. Jack had the best team. His team was unbelievable. We all made fun of him at the draft. He picked Michael Thomas in the 5th round, and his team was incredible. It was like week 10. It's like looking at his team, it was one of the best teams I've ever seen. Jonathan Taylor, James Robinson, Damian Harris on the bench. James Robinson was sick for a couple weeks when Urban Meyer was probably suspended or fired. Receivers, Jamar Chase, unreal. Stephon Diggs, he put on the bench a couple weeks because his team was so good. It just shows how good his team was. CD and Michael Pittman, dude, his team just got ice cold at the wrong time, I think. Finished in 3rd place. I mean, it was a great year after getting terribly made fun of at the draft. And I feel like he does that every year. Like, he just knows something that we don't, I guess. 2nd place, we got Dom, silver medalist. Dom, even though you got 2nd place, you are bringing home some serious cash. You got that $150 for 2nd, plus $100 for the most points for, which says a lot. I respect the heck out of Dom's team this year. I don't think he made a single trade. It was just the OG team. I feel like it never looked that good, but then you just look at the scoreboard and Dom's got like 149 points. And you're like, where are these points coming from? He had DeAndre Swift, Kelsey. Oh, Cooper Kupp. That's where they came from. He just rode Cooper Kupp, Matthew Stafford. That was a good call. The Rams have, I feel like, been a little hit or miss down the stretch, and that's what I think ultimately did Dom dirty in the championship. But for starting like 2 Jets receivers in a single week at one point in the year, Dom just threw up some serious points without making any trades. So I feel like this strategy of not trading could come to bite Dom in the butt next year. He's like, oh, I did it last year. I made it this far. I don't know. I mean, he had some good calls. So he was also, I feel like, blackout at the draft. So, I mean, for being that intoxicated, it was a great year, Dom. You should be very proud of yourself. Oh, while being on a road trip. And I feel like probably barely getting your lineup together most weeks. 1st place, last but not least, we got Kyle, bringing on his 2nd championship, his only 2nd person in the league to do that. It's his first solo championship, even though we really call his championship with Beck. It's Kyle's. We call it that. He's bringing home $700 in bread. Kyle's going to take this money, and he's going to go get himself a Miami woman. I feel like what really did it with Kyle was his trade with Max. Just for those guys that were so good this year, but nobody wanted to believe it. Debo, Cordero, Elijah Mitchell. He had DK, but he just wasn't great, you know? And Kyle traded Dalvin Cook for those guys, and he went for it, and he won. So congrats to Kyle. I don't know how you're going to get the trophy. My title's treasurer. It's not commissioner, so I'm going to leave that up to the big dog. But congrats, Kyle. I mean, well-deserved. I'm happy for you. So I guess that's it, boys. I mean, you don't have to watch this whole video. I mean, if you did, credit to you. Like I was saying, I just feel like I got to put a bow on it at the end. So I guess the next big thing will be when we're putting these condiments on Andrew. I think we should probably all FaceTime with or without Andrew before to kind of plan like what condiments we're going to do. I was thinking we got to really like, you know, something that's going to stick to this, something that'll stick to that, like a little Andrew lasagna. So, yeah, great year, boys. Can't wait to do it again next year. Maybe we'll watch some playoff football together.